out whose house this is. You'll never guess. Well, maybe now you're starting to guess. Right? Look in here. Voila! From The Hobbit, it's Bill Bob Biggins' pants. That's his house.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo.
Hey, yo. And last but not least, over yonder, making the magic happen, we call him the super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are.
Hey, JD.
You asked for it, you got it. Toyota? No dunks. Breaking T has delivered some Western Conference Finals gear for you Minnesota Timberwolves and Dallas Mavericks fans. These are fire. These are bangers. You can actually now complete the whole conference finals set.
Wow.
Collect them all like they're cups at a gas station. So go to nodunks.com for all of our No Dunks merch. And yeah, Breaking T, killing it with the new Mini and Dallas shirts, and you can get them in hoodies, and there's women's t-shirts. I think there's youth sizes as well, so go grab those. nodunks.com.
Green versus blue on both sides. I didn't even think about that. Pretty crazy. The No Dunks Minnesota one looks to me like it would be graffiti that you would maybe see on the side of a train. And the No Dunks Dallas one looks to me like the official shirt of the Southern Lawyer. Got a straight up cowboy hat on it.
That's a great point.
Gorgeous.
And that takes us right into game one of the Eastern Conference Finals, because I saw Trey Kirby tweeting that the Southern Lawyer was getting excited about this game because we had ourselves a game.
We had ourselves a game.
It was a crazy game. We got a lot to dissect here. In only the third overtime game of the NBA playoffs, the Celtics outlasted the Pacers to take game one of the Eastern Conference Finals. 133-128 last night. Boston outscored Indiana 16-11 in overtime. They survive. Jaylen Brown hit the corner three with about 6 seconds left in regulation to give us the extra 5 minutes. But man, did the Pacers just collapse and botch this and
absolutely
hand game one to Celtics. I see a lot of people saying Celtics survive, Celtics steal game one. I don't know. It's more of a, like, it's not stealing if I hand you my wallet, right? Here you go, and then you run away. It's like, oh, he stole my wallet. Well, did you hand it to him? Yeah, because they just made so many mistakes.
Well, and the Celtics made mistakes, so they didn't steal a thing, really. They made plenty of mistakes, but the Pacers are regretting the way this ended. Get the tattoo, the no regrets, but plenty of regrets in this one, because I'm not sure how the Celtics won with the way they closed this game, because the Pacers were great fighting back in both halves. Double digits down to start this game, and in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, down 13, but they kept fighting back. In the fourth quarter, they found the solution. Just go at Al. They went at Al Horford over and over and over again. 5 of 6 in ISO situations against Al Horford, and the last one was Andrew Marchand with 45 seconds left to give the Pacers a big, juicy 3-point lead. And it's not like the Celtics capitalized on that. Tatum missed a 3 at the other end, and then Halliburton dribbled the ball up the floor and just went off his leg out of bounds. Then the Celtics didn't take advantage of this situation either, because Derek White missed the layup. Tatum got a rebound. Turnaround jumper from the free throw line, which he was wide open, but he missed that one. And then Andrew Marchand tried to inbound the ball, and this is the thing that Rick Carlisle said they regret, that they should have advanced the ball instead of being in the backcourt situation. They should have advanced it, and they could have possibly inbounded, but he couldn't. Goes off Siakam and out of bounds, and that's when Jaylen Brown gets the 3-point opportunity. His only make of the fourth quarter was that really, really difficult 3-pointer shot that Siakam didn't foul him on. Apparently, Rick Carlisle did tell him to go foul him in that situation. He ties it up. And we go to overtime, where, again, the Celtics didn't play all that well, again, to start it, because Tatum had a terrible turnover just 2 minutes left into the fourth, or into overtime. 2 minutes left in overtime, excuse me. And then the Pacers were up 2 here. Things were looking pretty good for them. Tatum misses a layup. Derek White, rebound, misses a layup. They get another rebound. That's when Tatum finally scored and put this thing away. But he didn't score for the last 9:45 of the fourth, and he didn't hit a basket until 1:12 of OT. He got cold and made some terrible turnovers, as I just talked about. This was I had to go through all that because I had to watch it multiple times because I was just wondering, what did I watch? Did I watch the Pacers giving away this game? Because the Celtics made lots of flubs. Plenty of flubs. So this is something they are going to regret, I imagine, when this series is over.
What did you think about Rick Carlisle? I think Halliburton said it as well. Yeah, intent was to foul there when they were up 3 and they're inbounding baseline. And they didn't switch properly, and Siakam obviously closed out. But then he's like, I guess I don't want to foul here. What'd you make of his decision and how the Pacers played that, and obviously the shot making from Jaylen Brown?
I mean, first and foremost, the shot is incredible. When you see like the still image of it, and Siakam is like hugging like Shaq, if you know what I'm saying.
Dick to dick.
Yeah, dick to dick with Jaylen Brown right there, and he still knocks it down. If he takes a half step back, he's out of bounds as well. Incredible shot. That being said, I thought Siakam had a chance to foul. Jaylen Brown catches the ball. He pump fakes. He brings the ball to his right side and then gets into a shooting motion. It took about a second and a half, and Siakam is there a little bit late. Definitely a good screen, but also, why are the Pacers on the inside of the three-point arc? Makes no sense at all.
Why are they on the switching on every switch? I mean, just let the guy go.
There are so many things they could have done, and I thought Siakam could have fouled Jaylen Brown right when he catches it. He would have had a chance to get a good enough foul that even if Jaylen gets the shot up, he's going to the line for 3 free throws. What's the worst that happens? He makes them all. Yeah. You give up 3 points. Guess what happened? That being said, it's pretty risky. I understand. They say foul when the guy's facing away from the hoop, and he was facing the hoop the whole time.
Yeah.
Siakam still should have fouled him. And then Mike Breen hits us with a double bang.
What'd you think of that double bang?
Too early.
Too early in the... What do you mean too early? Expand on that. Too early in the series?
Too early in the series.
Okay.
No double bang in game 1.
I just think people know too much about the double bang now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing to me. It makes you think about the other ones, but you can only probably remember one double bang, really.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I mean, this is his second double bang of this postseason. We had it for the Dante DiVincenzo, madness in Game 2 of the Knicks-Sixers series, which was, felt like an eternity ago at this point, but not that long ago.
All right, so he's done 7 of them.
Yeah.
Throwing out the 2 of them that we've seen in this playoffs, how many other can you name?
Well, there's Steph versus OKC.
That's right.
Yeah, there's I believe
that's the only double bang in my book. That's the only one
didn't he double bang on Luka in the bubble?
He did.
That's a good one. Not iconic, but a huge shot. And then there's some other crappy ones. There's an Eric Gordon one that's perplexing.
There's a Julius Randle one from the side that okay.
Yeah.
The ones that are on MSG Network, I kind of don't count. He should be double banging on the Knicks broadcast. That's different on the national one. Nonetheless, great shot by Jaylen Brown. He got the double bang. I think it was fair in the heat of the moment, but then you go back, you're like, Ray Allen didn't get one in Game 6, 2013. That's wild.
Yeah.
He just hadn't invented it at that point. But it's a great point about stealing versus giving away. One of the tragic moments of my childhood, I had this beautiful windbreaker. It was like orange, purple, and green. I was playing outside, got a little hot, hung it on the mailbox. Decided to take a walk around the block with my mom, blah, blah, blah. We're just out experiencing stuff. Come back, windbreaker's gone.
It's gone.
Was it stolen, or did I give it away?
Ooh, that's tough. Because, you see a lot of stuff put out by the curb.
Yeah.
Now, it's hanging on the mailbox. It's a little different. But even I do that. I just picked up, a piece of shit shelving unit the other day. Because Nora's like, hey, look at this. Do we need this for plants outside? I said, well, are they giving it away? I'm always like, are they? Or they just have it sitting there? It's always tough.
So it's a terrible shelving unit?
It's just like a crappy, cheap, metal with rust. I mean, I cleaned it up. Sure. It looks better. But, I'm always like, if it doesn't have a sign on it, I'm not sure. Take this. I want to take this.
Yeah, but I mean,
free.
A windbreaker hanging on a mailbox. In my own subdivision?
Yeah, you got it stolen.
I got it stolen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the Celtics then, they stole this one because that's what it felt like. But man, I guess I was the Pacers back then. Very inexperienced. You can't leave your clothes just hanging on a mailbox. Somebody's going to come and get it. You can't turn the ball over 22 times in a playoff game and really, really expect to win. It came down to the final play in regulation. The Pacers had it, but they had so many plays throughout the fourth quarter, throughout the game, where it looked like despite the fact that they were playing really well and kept coming back in this game, they just looked like they got tight in the closest moments of this game. Halliburton dribbling the ball off his foot. Halliburton just falling over in overtime when Jrue Holiday crowded him there. That crazy shot that he took when about 50 seconds left. A double step back to the left side. He hits the top left corner of the backboard. They didn't get good shots. They didn't really get good looks, and obviously couldn't get the ball in bounds on that last play. Brutal pass by by Nembhard. He led if that doesn't get tipped, that's going to be an easy basket for the Celtics. He's leading them to their own basket to score.
Yeah.
It is weird. Siakam just doesn't come to the ball.
Yeah, that's what I hated too. I hated him exactly.
He's running away.
Yeah. Come to me, man.
Yeah.
Especially because Derek White had backed up. There was space there to sort of pivot and come to him.
And Jaylen Brown definitely grabbed his jersey a little bit earlier, gave him a little hug, but that happens when you're trying to inbound the ball. That just happens. But it is totally right. It is like putting a windbreaker on a mailbox, I guess, because in the situations where you just gave it away, that was defined by Haliburton's giveaways a couple of times. The one that went off his leg towards the end of regulation, he just literally lost the ball. And then when he lost it into the broadcasting crew, he lost it right in front of Mike Breen. That's when I think he could have called a bang, because he jumped like directly onto the broadcast table. The monitor went down. We could have got a bang. But literally it was Haliburton. Yeah. In these key moments, a guy who's in his first playoff run just flubbed it. And so that's why it just feels like the Boston Celtics can't play this poorly in stretches of the game. And it is so strange because the Celtics were good for good stretches of this game, but then their defense just turned off and the Pacers just kept going when all of their guys hit shot after shot after shot after shot. But the big, like the front court of the Celtics, the 3, 4, 5 in Horford, Brown, and Tatum, were awful shooting the three ball in this game. All of them. Yeah. And in the fourth quarter, when Jaylen Brown only had 1 3, that was only hit 1 make, was a miraculous 3, and Tatum went ice cold, and Al Horford was being isolated on the defensive end. This is just one that they're going to kick themselves. That's for sure.
You're right. Outside of how they played the Jaylen Brown 3, and they should have switched better and should have never had him catching that there, and maybe should have fouled all that. Outside of that, it felt like they did everything right except turn the ball over. They had 5 turnovers in the final 5:30 of the fourth quarter. They had that one in overtime that Haliburton. I mean, it was still a game when he coughed that one up. They did so many things right, including exposing Al Horford. It was a really rough Al Horford game, and he couldn't get some back on the other end because he didn't have his 3-ball going, but they did a great job. We talked about it in the preview. He's going to drop, and they exploited that a couple times. They finally switched Horford onto Siakam. They obviously still did a good job of getting him in action, but they were just so comfortable with Al Horford, who is a good, smart defender, but these quick and shifty guards, they're I can create space and I can get to my jumper. I mean, we saw Nembhard do it. We saw Siakam do it at times on him. Haliburton blew by him to start the second half. That'll be something to watch moving forward. It just it's deflating this loss because it does feel like the series is over, if I'm being honest, because it was ooh, that would have been fascinating. Okay, the Celtics usually give up game 2. Now they give up game 1. The Pacers outplayed them for, I don't know, if you throw it overtime, they outplayed them for, it felt like 40 minutes of the game, or at least played them even.
You got to throw out the first 2 minutes, though, because the Celtics outplayed.
I know.
The Pacers, for sure.
Exactly.
And part of the third quarter when they went up double digits.
That's why I tried to get to about 40 minutes.
Seems about right.
40 minutes. Yeah, that's maybe but that you feel good. And maybe you still do. Maybe, I guess that's my question to you. Do you still feel like this will be a competitive series, or this is one of those ones where it's that's just backbreaking. You did it to yourselves.
Yeah.
And this could spiral quickly, I guess, even though they're amazing at home.
Sure feels that way for being in your first conference finals this way when you had it. You really did have it to give away game 1 on the road like this. Obviously, the Pacers have fought really well to beat the Knicks in 7 games. They obviously fought under every single circumstance in that situation. But this feels a little bigger. And it feels like, Trey pointed out that the Celtics were off for so long before the conference finals, and maybe they'd have a poor game. It didn't look like that to start this game.
It was 12-0.
Yeah, then they stopped. And in the third quarter, they went up double digits again. And the TJ McConnell, Obi Toppin bench was awesome. They did it twice in this game.
Yep.
Usually we come in here, it's a tale of 2 halves. It was the same half, basically. It was the Celtics get up double digits. Well, here comes that freaking Pacers bench. That was phenomenal to bring them back ahead. And then that fourth quarter was just odd for the Celtics. Al looked old on the defensive end. I mean, he's doing his thing, but they couldn't come up with it. So who knows? Who knows mentally where these Pacers are at, but it sure feels like it's one of those conference finals. We gave away game 1 like that. It's got to hurt.
Jrue Holiday, monster game for the Celtics. Probably getting overlooked a little bit because of the Brown shot, because of Tatum's big line that he ultimately had. But Jrue Holiday, He was doing it all. He's scoring in the post, which we love to see. He hit threes, went 4 of 8 from deep. He's obviously doing work as a screener, and he's creating for others, and you're getting elite defense. 28 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. And then his backcourt mate there in Derek White didn't have as big a game, but he filled the box score as well. Had some incredible plays. That play where Derek White blew up the lob to Obi Toppin, where he was out at the 3-point line and hustled back to get it. But,
that was nice.
But Jrue Holiday, we keep talking about, and I think we all agree, and a lot of people do, I don't think the Celtics can win a title without Porzingis, without a healthy Porzingis. You start to wonder, can they do it without a Jrue Holiday playing at that sort of level that he's played over the last couple of games, where he has faltered before in postseason runs, and maybe even at the start of this, but he's playing his best basketball right now.
Yeah, he was awesome in this one. I thought he was particularly good in the fourth quarter. Tatum was struggling in the fourth. Like you're saying, he didn't score for basically 10 minutes of the fourth, but Jrue Holiday had 8 points in that time, and he was also sticking Tyrese Halliburton on the other side. The physicality obviously got to Halliburton because he was having to deal with Jrue guarding him coming up court, and then he had to do it on the other end because Jrue was down in the post, putting his body into Halliburton. I thought it was a great performance by him. 8 assists, 3 steals, and that's not even counting the one where, he just gets close to Halliburton. Halliburton panicked a little bit, fell over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's just an unforced error, I guess.
Yeah, that was a nice Missoula move to have him in the post guarding Jrue Holiday, that's for sure. And Jrue Holiday even being the baseline cutter, just hanging out there in the dunk spot, doing great things. And to see Al Horford get outplayed by Miles Turner. Miles Turner was so awesome in this game. He was ridiculous in this game and still unable to win. Because, as you said, can they win without Kristaps Porzingis? Well, their weakness is Al Horford, and Miles Turner took it to him. And so to see them lose that game where he really outplayed, he was literally the best big man in this series last night. It was clear. And he should be in this. He was 18-4-4 in that first half where he had 2 monster dunks, a hammer dunk, and then a 2-handed dunk where he had to, bring it in a little bit. That sucks. It just sucks for the Pacers overall.
What did you think about the way this game was officiated? Because besides the turnovers, Indiana did commit 23 fouls. Celtics attempted 30 free throws to the Pacers only 10. Do you think Pacers fans have a right here this morning to be pretty upset with how the game was called? Or is this just the style of these two teams and how they play?
I think both. I think the Pacers got a worse whistle than the Celtics did. I thought the Celtics were got some decent calls, but I didn't think it was egregiously bad. I didn't think that was the reason that the Pacers lost this game. The turnovers are the reason that they lost this game. And yeah, there's a lot of paint points for both teams, but most of the Pacers' paint points come on fast breaks. That's when they're attacking. They were a great jump shooting team last night. They were in the mid-range quite a bit. You're not going to draw a lot of fouls there. So I don't think that really had much of an impact.
You agree, disagree?
I totally agree. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it made much of an impact.
Were there any calls that jumped out to you that were I thought the one on when the guys, I hate it when guys fighting for a rebound and then the officials are going to decide. I think it was a minute to go in the fourth quarter and it was Siakam fighting for a board with Brown and there's a bunch of grabbing and clutching and these guys are going for boards and then it was Siakam that got whistled for that one and I think that resulted in 2 Brown free throws, which were obviously huge. He knocked those 2 down.
I like the ESPN replay that basically said, whoa, if you look at the other side of the floor, they're also hugging. I mean, both hugs on both sides of the free throw line. So that's clear. That's what's happening. But Pascal Siakam minutes earlier fell when Al Horford was boxing him out. He kind of had one leg up, so I guess he had lost his balance a little bit, and Al Horford pushed him because, it's box out time because there's a rebound. And Pascal Siakam fell, and they got the call.
Yep.
Yeah, we can go and check out every single one, that's for sure. And the last 2 minutes, I think, will give even more fouls to the both sides. Honestly, I was going to say the Pacers, but honestly, both sides.
I would almost say the worst call was a non-call on that fast break that Jason Tatum had, where Halliburton tries to wrap him up, basically at half court, trying to take a take foul. It ends up being a foul on Aaron Nesmith blocking the dunk attempt by Tatum. I think that was Nesmith's 6th foul, and then Tatum got going as soon as Nesmith checked out.
Yeah, Nesmith did it. Aggravated Tatum, I guess. He was under his skin, but you're right. The 6th foul after that, Tatum, I can score.
Yeah, exactly. It was Nembhard was on him on the next possession, and he tried to pull the chair, but Tatum's too big. Finished over the top of him. Then he hit that. He had 3, I think, right after that as well. That was a huge momentum play, especially because Halliburton was clearly going to wrap him up. Yeah. He fouled him twice. That was a bad non-call, I would say.
Yeah, Tatum finished with 36 points, 12 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals. Really good at the free throw line when he was there, 10 of 12. But 12 of 26 shooting, 2 for 8 for deep. But he hit that massive one in overtime. I think that was the pump fake party, right? Where then he sidestepped.
Yes, it was.
To knock that one down up top after he had missed one, in regulation there, which was also a good look. But he was coming up short. Man, you imagine the conversation we'd be having if the Celtics do lose that game at the end of regulation. Maybe just take away one turnover from the Pacers and they pull it out. There'd be a lot about Tatum and about how they look good when they're running their stuff, but then they get into sort of one-track mind, blinders on, and they do that.
Oh yeah.
For stretches, it's like if they cut that out, they're a dominant team, and they were in the regular season for a majority of it. But yeah, you get into these clutch games or these situations, you're like, guys, why are you going away from running your action and moving the ball? They just get a little ISO happy.
Yeah, and driving, because they're pretty good at driving against the Indiana Pacers, but then they stop. And you can put together a little montage of the Tatum misses late in this game, which were wide open 3, a wide open shot from the free throw line, and a missed layups. It's 3 different shots, missing from all 3 areas of the floor, really, if you want to do it like that. But then the Celtics turn on. They fight for 50-50 balls. That Jaylen Brown throwing it off Aaron Nesmith as he was falling out of bounds. Awesome. Jrue Holiday taking a charge on Nesmith. Awesome. Yeah, it's a real Jekyll and Hyde with this Celtics team, because then they stop, and then they just chuck shots. And this was them. And Joe Mazzulla knew it. He was literally telling them to drive that frickin' ball. And that's a huge change when the Celtics do that. Just feels like this was the one, because they can't do it again. They can't play that poorly again, I imagine. I mean, not that they played poorly. Like you said, 4 of 48, they won. They won the game. They won the battle in 4 of 48 minutes. I guess they can get worse than that, but man.
Obviously, the good thing for the Pacers is they shouldn't have. You would hope they wouldn't have another game where they're turning the ball over 20-plus times. So, don't shoot yourself in the foot. But the counter to that is, are Obi and TJ and that bench going to come through every game and outplay a lot of the Celtics reserves, which they did in this game? Are the Celtics going to miss a majority of their three-pointers? They were generating some of their looks that they usually bang in. And they were missing, I forget what they finished from deep. Was it 33% or something like that?
15 to 45.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, that, there's going to be a game or two where that's much higher. All these things are just more things were going the Pacers' way, and then ultimately just down the stretch, they gave them a chance. We were, the chat was on fire last night, everybody going, what are the Pacers doing? But then you're right, it was the Celtics aren't taking advantage of it. What are they doing? It's does anybody want to win this game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly right. It's the play that was kind of emblematic of it to me was there's an inbound, I guess maybe 45 seconds left or something like that for the Celtics. They inbound it to Tatum, and Nesmith gambles for no reason. A ridiculous play.
Yep.
Wide open three-pointer for Tatum. Brick.
Yeah.
And it was okay, is somebody going to win this game? Apparently Jaylen Brown was. Or even, you could even say in overtime, Tatum didn't have it going at all, and then somehow he ends up scoring 10 in overtime, the most in a postseason since 2021, Tom Haberstroh said.
Wow. Yeah, he was
I didn't think he had a clutch game at all. Guess he did.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It didn't hit his first basket until 1:12 left of this game in OT. That's a long time. Right. And then, that was with Nesmith out. Yeah. In the fourth quarter, he was ice cold. He just missed his last 5 shots, and then missed plenty going into that last few minutes when Aaron Nesmith was out, and then he decided that he could turn it on.
How about Joe Mazzulla successfully challenging Al Horford's goaltend call 35 seconds into the game? We got this so early. Wow. And then of course, we get one from him at the end, basically, of the game. I think people are saying he has officially set the record between the biggest gap between a coach's challenge in a game. It's got to be almost it's over 50 minutes of game time, I guess.
Yeah, we also have only had one season with 2 challenges.
That's right. That's true. But still, it's going to be tough to beat. It's going to be tough to beat 35 seconds in.
You got to challenge right away.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was the earliest it's ever been done in a playoff game.
Yeah, that's true,
as Mike Breen said. I think could be the earliest, and it was confirmed. Good stuff, Joe.
He felt pretty confident about it, that's for sure.
Wasn't the first play of this game a Jaylen Brown dunk on Nesmith, and they both landed flat on their backs after that? What a wild first minute of basketball.
Yeah. Nesmith turned it over, I think, or maybe it was. I believe it was him. Yeah, and then hustled back to try and challenge the Jaylen Brown dunk and landed on his ass.
That looked nasty.
Tailbone. Yeah, for sure. Also, if we're doing random notes here, we got a great shot of this Celtics fan that looked like he was going to explode how red this guy's face was. He was excited. He was happy. I don't think he was angry here at this particular moment. But if you're a fan of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, that's what all the guys look like on that show. They are all beet red.
Just because they're tan problems?
Yeah, they got a lot of tan problems, and I think maybe just blood pressure issues and stress from being on a reality TV show.
That vein in his neck is humongous.
Huge.
This is large.
They're winning by 8 here.
Yeah. He was pumped. He was excited about something. Maybe Horford scored in the post or something. Maybe that was the same when we got Tito flexing. I can't remember exactly. But
the Tito flex.
Yeah. Any other random notes or observations from this game or series?
I love the TJ McConnell Peyton Pritchard matchup. I said it going into this series. People in the comments saying, come on, TJ McConnell is far better than Peyton Pritchard. It's not what I said. I didn't say Peyton Pritchard's better than TJ McConnell because TJ McConnell came in with that beautiful reverse layup. He'll just never stop his dribble. Yeah, incredible passing to get him open in the lane. And then the spin move on Pritchard.
Oh, that was nice.
Sure, but then Pritchard back down. TJ McConnell goes behind the back, gives him a little space and hits a shot. And he did stop TJ McConnell from doing the dribble underneath the hoop one time. He stopped him. He cut him off one time. It was a good matchup. Those two dudes are fun to watch because they are identical almost. I guess it's like every guy in those reality shows that you watch, they all they kind of look similar. They got a same sort of vibe. But they're both really good in this game. Obviously, TJ McConnell was awesome in this game.
Breen gave us like the fight card measurements on those two guys.
Oh, they did?
Both 6'2", 190 pounds.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They should have just thrown up the Spider-Man meme of them pointing at each other. But yeah, that was a fun little battle. And, the Pacers are going to just need those guys, TJ and Obi Toppin especially. I thought Ben Shepherd had a rough game. I mean, he had a bad game. He's been really good throughout most of the postseason, but just a rough one from him.
He was the only one with a, air quotes, bad shooting night out of everybody who friggin' played on this.
Right. We did see Jalen Smith for maybe a minute.
Yep, 57 seconds. Probably what he's going to get in the competitive portion of this series.
And,
Didn't go well.
We saw some Luke Cornett, of course, as the backup center with no Porzingis. I didn't think it was all that great either. And we had talked about going in the series. Will Mazzulla try some small ball center? Be it Tatum, be it maybe Tillman even, if you want to switch more out there. He didn't. I don't know if he will.
Xavier Tillman wasn't there because of personal reasons.
That's true.
He lost his father
and
said that on Instagram to announce that he wasn't there. That wasn't Mazzulla's decision not to play him. So hopefully he gets back for game 2. Yeah, Luke Cornett just looked a little slow in this.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like this team right now, the Pacers are hitting a lot of shots. And the drop coverage of Horford we saw and Cornett, that's what he does. They're going to feel comfortable. So, yeah, maybe we'll see Tillman. I threw out a O'Shea Brissett. I doubt that. But maybe Tatum. And some Celtics fans, I know Simmons was talking about it. It's like, this is why Mazzulla should have been experimenting more during the regular season. Or hell, even in the postseason. Just try minutes of small ball Celtics lineups here to see what you got, to see what you can unlock. And maybe it'll come back to bite them in the ass. Maybe it won't. They pull it out, so they're still up 1-0. But Mazzulla is generally slow to sort of adapt, and he likes his big guys.
Likes a big guy. Likes having a big guy in there.
He must love the all-defensive first team. He's like, hell yeah. It's all big guys. What else do you have in your notes from this one?
After Jaylen Brown hit the shot from the corner, they cut to Donnie Wahlberg.
So many times. Donnie got so much camera time.
A lot of Donnie time. Blue Bloods. Big fans there in Boston. They don't have better celebrities. I mean, David Ortiz was sitting.
Yep, he was happy.
It was so fun.
I don't know. I just liked it better when the Knicks would hit a crazy shot. They had a couple of crazy endings, and they're cutting to John Starks celebrating. Not Donnie Wahlberg, man.
Yeah, you got a lot of it, man.
Yeah,
he did. He got a lot of camera time.
Yeah, David Ortiz. I don't know if he really should have got camera time because he wasn't really celebrating all that much.
He wasn't doing much.
Just had the big shades on. I'm sure people didn't even know it was Big Papi because you had to really look. Is that him for sure? I don't know.
Once you saw him smiling though, grinning ear to
ear. Yeah. There was that one play where the Celtics were inbounding the ball and it was right in front of David Ortiz, and David Ortiz had to just cross his hands on his chest and lean back to get out of the way. It was really fun. He was very subdued. He wasn't cheering all that hard. But yeah, Donnie, David, was there another celebrity? I guess not.
There was. There was who's the football player that the Patriots?
Drake May.
He was there. I didn't know it when they showed him at first. They had to tell me that. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Oh, I thought you say football player. I thought I saw Drew Bledsoe. I stopped the screen. I'm like, that's Drew Bledsoe. No, it wasn't. It was not.
Mike Breen, during an F1 ad read, asked the the crew, what's the fastest you've ever driven a car? So I'm not being a cop here, but let me throw it at you, Tass. What's the fastest you've ever driven a car? Do you even know?
As fast as my car will go.
What do you think?
As far as the governor will let it go. What do I think it is?
Well, you got a couple speeding tickets driving to the cottage back in the day. I was in the car the one time.
Yeah.
What'd you get that bad boy up to?
Yeah, that was on a country road too.
Yeah.
It wasn't as fast as I've been, that's for sure. I'm saying right. I couldn't get over 100 miles, 160K on that. So I've done that before, that's for sure.
Okay.
That's for sure.
What about
of course
you, TKJD? You've been in a professional, race car, have you not?
Yes, professional-ish. I don't actually know. I never looked at the speedometer when I was racing around. But I did get my Mini up to like 105 miles per hour.
Okay.
Top down, that was a bad idea. Like
top down. Wow.
Beard like over my eyes, basically. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I just wanted to see how fast.
I did get a good laugh last night because I tweeted the exact same thing. If you weren't watching the game, you thought I was a narc or something, just trying to find out if you've sped or not. I couldn't believe how many people knew the fastest they've ever driven a car, though.
Right,
people were like to the exact, kilometer per hour or mile per hour. Trey, are you one of those people?
I buried the needle on my Chevy Beretta on Miller Road back in the day.
Damn.
I don't know what it was. 110 was the needle.
Okay.
There you go.
Yep. Great times. Love driving fast. I literally did that after seeing the first Fast and the Furious movie. Well, many other times, but Miller Road, how fast can you go? How fast can you go?
How fast can you go? I couldn't stop thinking during the broadcast, too, about Andrew Marchand of The Athletic, his column from yesterday. As I listened and watched Breen, JJ Redick, and Doris Burke call last night's game, because it was titled, Marchand's article here, after puzzling decision to let go of Jeff Van Gundy, ESPN's NBA broadcasts are worse off. I put a link in the show notes here on YouTube if you want to click over and read it. I thought it was an interesting read. I'm not sure I agreed with it entirely, but his premise is here, and I'll quote Marchand, Breen might be able to carry the trio late in close games, but he is not raising his partner's levels. Evaluating what he has, he comes across as more of a shoot-first point guard, not only providing the play-by-play, but often the analysis too. And then he talks about how this crew, they lack chemistry because, they haven't had many reps. And he says that they lack humor and flow, and that Redick's game analysis is more coach-like than conversational. Anyway, what do you think? Do you agree with Andrew Marchand here? Is it worse than it was with Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson? Do you got to give it time? Does the trio just not work because of their personalities? What's your take?
I think all of that is probably true. I miss the jokes as well. I don't miss the complaining. You know? You take some, you leave some. Give a penny, take a penny. But what it comes down to me is the no chemistry. Maybe the flow gets better if time goes on, though we'll see what happens with JJ, the coach. And they were just thrown together in the middle of the season. This wasn't even the team coming into the season because Doc left, which is pretty funny because ESPN basically said, we're worried Jeff Van Gundy is going to leave to go coach. Okay.
He'd been there for 15 years, 16 years.
This might be the year.
Yeah.
But I also think Doris and JJ have very similar styles.
I think so, too.
They're very measured in their thoughts. They're thoughtful about it. And Marchand's definitely right that it's more coach-like than conversational. I don't know. Will that ever change? Maybe if they are able to stay together longer times and they know where they're each hopping in and out like that. But then you look at the TNT side, Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller, Jamal Crawford, they seem to have found chemistry pretty quickly. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I had read this in the afternoon before game one. And I thought, okay, you know what? There's some truth to it. And then I listened and I made notes on everything they talked about. And they are getting better as the playoffs go on. I think that's for sure. And yes, maybe they're lacking chemistry the Van Gundy and Mark Jackson had. But they're getting better as they go on. They're working on it. I think in this one, Doris said Tatum and Jaylen have finishability. And Mike Breen said... He was impressed. Finishability. He never heard that word. And they talked about Chris Paul being a part of the TV crew at halftime. Doris said, because he's not on the court giving referees a hard time, things will be all right. And so they're making jokes. She was explaining Tatum's drive. Redick said, are you trying to drive a foul on me, Doris? Because I guess she was animated and maybe threw an arm out at her. See, they're making good jokes, I think. Even Pritchard's back was hurting, came up with an offensive board. Breen said his back must be killing him, because he was playing through it. I think their chemistry is coming on. And there was a ton of analysis that was damn good.
That's not their problem for the most part. It's more they're a little buttoned up, and they're maybe too similar. That's, I think, the sort of what Andrew Marchand was getting at, where it's so different with Breen compared to Van Gundy, the curmudgeon, Mark Jackson with the catchphrases. And yeah, we rolled our eyes at a lot of them. They got tiring, definitely when they were complaining about officials. Like, I don't miss that. But you do miss the levity and like them sort of making fun of each other a little more and like just like that. And maybe you do, maybe you don't, because this is the thing, like, you know, you want something different from a broadcast than maybe I want. Like, everyone's going to have a different sort of feel for it. Maybe you just want, I just want analysis, no jokes. I just want pure jokes because I don't need my hand held through it all. You know, everybody's got a different opinion.
As hardcore basketball fans who've watched every freaking game for a long time,
you want some personality
because you have a lot of good analysis yourself, or you probably don't need that as much.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the jokes are coming. I think they're coming.
I'm just not sure they're funny people.
I get it.
Who's going to say Jefferino hot dog buddy? You know? Who's going to tell a story about being called Jefferino hot dog buddy?
Right.
Yeah, Van Gundy is loose because he's been doing it. He had been doing it for 17 years. Mm-hmm. He had literally 17 years. He had called the finals for 17 years. So he can talk about being called a hot dog. I'm sure. like those were the jokes we're from. But I thought the analysis was damn good when they got into it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like Reddit kept talking about the Pacers playing 0.5 basketball because you got to make a decision within 0.5 seconds of getting the ball. Or the corner crashing, as Doris Burke was talking about. Corner crashing allows people to get back within and play transition defense. I mean, that was a good point. Van Gundy and Mark Jackson have never said that. So I just think that they were good. And Reddit said about Turner, name the 7-footer that can pick and roll for a dunk one play and take a step side three the next. That sounds like a Jeff Van Gundy quote right there, man. That was so. I don't know. Yeah, the jokes are lacking, I guess, but I think they're coming.
Well, it won't be for long because he'll probably be coaching a team soon.
Maybe.
So then find the third person to pair with Mike Breen and Doris Burke.
Perhaps it's Richard Jefferson.
Maybe he's got more personality because he's quirkier and
he's willing to take a shot at a guy.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, for sure.
And if you say somebody's a big load down low, he will not agree with you. He's a very talented player.
Also, something that Ghostface Ziller wrote this morning in his newsletter that I have been thinking about throughout the playoffs as well is, and I'm going to quote Ziller here, something has felt a little off about the games on ESPN and ABC. Like, are the crowds not juiced, or is the mix just off? Crowd noise is an important factor in whether a broadcast feels frenetic and exciting, and I think that goes hand in hand to what we're talking about here with Breen, Reddick, and Doris a little bit. What is going on? Because Breen just kept telling us how loud it was in that building. It was crickets for a majority of that game. It was maybe hot at the start when they ripped off the 12-0 run. It got obviously loud at times. This is a good Boston crowd. We know that for the most part. So what is going on? There's something odd.
Yeah.
It didn't sound loud at all.
Absolutely. We've commented on this earlier in the playoffs, in Boston specifically. Something is wrong with the feed. We're not hearing the fans.
Well, is it the feed or the fans? I don't know. Or is it both? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the TNT broadcast. There's something going on.
ESPN.
Yes, ESPN. I made a mistake.
Yeah, it's weird.
For sure.
But it's funny that, again, it goes hand in hand with all this. It's like, it takes away from the game, from a viewing experience when it's so quiet and flat. And now you're putting even more pressure on the trio to like build that energy, I think. Yeah. But do you have any other notes?
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was oddly quiet, but then you're hearing Breen say it like, they're going to the free throw line and people have to be going crazy in the arena, right? Like the 10 seconds left inbounds. Surely the Boston crowd is defense, going insane.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like it, so something's up with the mix.
Breen said twice in this game, we couldn't even hear the whistle.
Yeah.
He said it twice.
That was on the Neesmith foul.
We heard the whistle perfectly clear.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. What? So, yeah, something's off there, and hopefully they can figure that out moving into the finals here at least.
I was trying to change my audio. I was trying to get a better audio balance, but it wasn't happening.
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned the crickets there. We've got some great cicada talk coming a little bit later. It's a good plug. That's a good plug, man. Good plug
are you guys, do you have it set on surround sound? Because they mix these things 5-1, right? 7-1 sometimes. So,
okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just listening
here's
to my...
a good thing. Our buddy Ken's coming down from Toronto. He works in AV equipment. We'll have him look at our systems.
You're totally right, though, JD. As soon as I turned my stereo up, there was more. There was
Yeah,
more.
if you go stereo rather
Okay.
than 5.1 or
So it's my
whatever.
fault.
No. They shouldn't be mixing these things in surround. Who the hell watches a basketball game in surround sound? Like, it's ridiculous.
I'm sure people do. But,
Oh, well, I'm sure they do too, but they're like, why is it so quiet? Or, you know, the speakers. I mean, it should be hot. It should be hot. By hot, I mean all the mics, just put all the faders up. Like, you know, it could also be that they're like, hey, we're going into a playoff game. It's going to be crazy. It's like the crowd is too much. Like, let's bring down the mix a little bit on the, you know, who knows what decisions are being made.
But it is so strange with the Boston games because we thought they're kind of being quiet because it's round one earlier on in this postseason. Yes. And then we heard this game where Breen couldn't even hear the whistle, so it must have been loud.
Right.
Like
he's either straight up lying to us or it's really off.
It is odd that you can hear the whistle at home, but Breen can't hear it, and he's wearing headphones, presumably listening to programs. I don't know.
I will say, I do love, and I've said this before, I love the gold accents they use on their ESPN graphic packages here as we get into the conference finals and the final. I love it. It just makes it seem like a more important game. It's like tiny things like that. I'm like, yes, keep with that.
Gold is good.
Do you guys have anything else on Andrew Marchand's column, on the broadcast, on the game? No, okay, let's move on. Wolves center Rudy Gobert has been unanimously selected to the NBA All-Defensive First Team. Gobert received first-team votes on all 99 ballots, earning first-team honors for the 7th time. Joining Gobert is fellow Frenchman Victor Wembanyama. We have Heat center Bam Adebayo, Pelicans forward Herb Jones, and you see there Lakers big man Anthony Davis, the all-D second team. It's all guards, basically. Even Alex Caruso was pointing this out on Twitter. It's Alex Caruso, Jalen Suggs, Derek White, and Jrue Holiday, and you've got Wolves forward. He's more of a forward. Jaden McDaniels, who we'll see tonight in action in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Guys, Trey Kirby. I guess my first question is, do you like this positionless selection for all defensive teams? Are you a fan of it, or wish they actually sort of had more of a guards and forwards and centers structure?
I think it makes more sense if it's guards and centers, or guards and front court guys.
I sort of do too.
Especially because then you see like Victor Wembanyama, first rookie to make all defensive first team. I'm like, yeah, but Tim Duncan was behind Scottie Pippen and Karl Malone when he was a rookie. He made the second team, but if they had no positions, does Tim Duncan make first team? It's quite possible. You're telling me that history matters. History matters. We can't change 82 games because of all this stuff, but you change this. This changes the history. To me, and it just feels like this is how it will continue to go. I mean, it's only the first year, so who knows if things will change, but in general, the big guys are more important defensively, and they get higher rated defensively. All the best defenses usually have a good rim protector, so it feels like we'll get 3 to 4 centers on every first team, and then we'll sprinkle in a wing and a guard here and there.
Yeah.
What do you say? Are you a fan of this?
I like being able to separate it by guards and wings, or guards and bigs, however you want to call it, littles and bigs, smalls and bigs, to that effect, because it is, whether it's a small forward, power forward, or center, lump them together, and the guards. I think that would be ideal, because it is a little strange that Victor Wembanyama is the first rook to be on the all-first defensive team. You think about it that way, because there are other, like you mentioned, Tim Duncan. I was shocked by that. I thought Tim Duncan did it, but no, he only made the second team, if you want to separate it that way. So I think there is a way of separating it just like that, smalls and bigs, because you do have great smalls out there, but Jaden McDaniels, I think, is big. In this situation, he would be in the big category. Lump them that way. I would anyway.
Well, I know who loves this new way. Bam Adebayo.
Yes.
He's on the first team.
Yeah.
This guy finally cracked a first team with the way you can now vote. He was a second team guy for, I think, the last, I don't know if it was consecutively, but I think 4 times he was second team because of all these great centers, defensive centers, that he would sort of get bumped down to the second team, but he's there on the first team. You have the voting, I believe, JD, the sort of breakdown for the first and second team, and then you have a bunch of other guys getting votes, and I wanted to bring it up because Domantas Sabonis got some votes for all defensive teams. Who is doing this? Who is voting Sabonis for all these things? I almost have to admire it now. They've leaned into the bit if it's one person. But yes.
Do you think they revealed themselves by also giving De'Aaron Fox a first team all defense vote?
It's possible. Yeah, it's very possible. You're looking at Sacramento, are you?
Yeah, I'm looking at them because I don't think that they were a good defensive team this year. No. Not good enough to have 2 players on the first team.
No.
On the first team. And then you get a guy like OG Anunoby not getting a vote. That guy is a phenomenal defensive player. I know he was hurt, and I know he was part of a poopier defense with the Toronto Raptors for a good chunk of the season, but as soon as he became a New York Knick, they became an incredible defensive team and became an incredible team. OG Anunoby deserves to be on there. It is nice to see Herb Jones made the first team, a guy who had never made one, and is the guy that you probably talk about the least out of the first team 5. You know, Rudy, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, Wembanyama, and him. He doesn't get the name recognition, but he's just damn good. And yeah, that's 5 bigs. I would put Herbert in the big category. Would you not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going sort of, bigs and smalls.
I mean, what else is there to
small.
do? Smalls, wings, and bigs? Well, how would you separate it? You could do smalls, wings, and bigs. I would do just 2 categories myself. So you take out the center of that. Myself, like you said, like Trey said, smalls and bigs.
Like the All-Star game.
Yeah, like the All-Star game. I mean, it would be nice to, as they change this, as they get rid of the center, to have one uniform way of doing it, I guess.
I mean, I guess, one positive for this, if you want to look at it, I'd have to go back and look at all the defensive teams and guys that made second teams because of their position that maybe only got on there because of it. Like, my point is, we are in theory getting the 10 best defenders according to the voters, right? Because it's like, get positions out of there. So in years past, there have probably been guys that got on there, maybe guards, let's say, where there were much more deserving wings, big centers, but, there's only a couple spots for them. So I guess that's a positive, if you think that is. But there it is. Congrats to Wemby, first rookie ever selected to the all-defensive first team. They've been doing this for a long time. 68, 69.
I was kind of surprised when I looked at that.
That caught me by... I was like, whoa.
Seemed like it's something that would come around in the 80s. They just introduced a lot of awards in the 80s.
That's right. All right, so congrats to all 10 of those guys making all defensive honors. Okay, before we go, it was teased earlier, but we have a tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter. We are going off the basketball floor because I just found this tweet so unique. I had to go with it. This from Pyramid Chad. He tweeted, it's an Illinois-based tweet because people are doing Malört shots with cicadas in them, man. I need to get the bleep out of Illinois. So Malört is a liquor that I happened to drink when we were at the All-Star game in Chicago in 2020. I lost our monthly bet where we have our pick 'em payoff, and I had to do a shot of Malört, which was nasty. But now they're introducing Cicada-infused Malört.
This is real.
This is real. Noon Whistle Brewing, introducing Cicada-infused Malört. And I got to read some of their paragraphs to see if you guys are excited.
Yeah.
Here we go. Lobster-like flavor sensation. Believe it or not, the 17-year-old virgin cicadas bring a flavor reminiscent of succulent lobster to this insanely delicious concoction. It's a taste you won't find anywhere else, and it's only available once every 17 years. That's cicada history for you.
Yeah, hold on. There was a lot in that sentence because you immediately go to, hold on, these taste like lobster? Like they're succulent like lobster? But then let's not gloss over the 17-year-old virgin cicadas. These are the special ones? These are the ones you got to put in Malört? I guess so.
I mean, it's a big deal. They're back for the first time in 17 years, and it's crossing over with the 12-year cicadas as well for the first time in forever. And Chicago is like the epicenter of the cicada world right now.
Okay.
So that's why they're doing this.
Okay.
I don't know why they're called virgin.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe because they're just coming out of the womb. Hey. Debutantes.
Right.
We got them down here all the time. That's Cicada Central down here in the South. My kids just collect them in jars for no reason.
I've got one in my coffee cup right now.
Does it taste like a succulent lobster?
Like a lobster.
I don't believe that for a second.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I would get more into their blurbs here, but I don't know if we really care. Okay, one more. Safe, nutritious, and totally unique. You might be surprised to learn that eating cicadas is not only safe, but also nutritious, packed with protein and low in fat. Cicadas are a sustainable and eco-friendly food source. Plus, with our expert preparation, you can indulge in this delicacy with confidence. Now, I say that paragraph because I wonder, and I need to know, would you rather eat the cicada or drink the Malört? If they were separate, like in any situation, because the Malört is known to be
pretty rough.
It's known to be nasty.
I did try it.
Yeah.
but eating a cicada might not appeal to some. But I would pick the cicada. I don't know if your children eat the cicadas that they have. If it's
they just hang on to the corpses.
Yeah.
But it's so good in protein. And some people, like you mentioned the crickets earlier, they put these into somehow a protein bar or something.
Yeah,
and you're just getting so much protein.
Nutritious.
That's so sustainable. It tastes better, in all honesty, than the Malört. No doubt.
Maybe it does, but if I'm on Survivor, I guess give me the bugs. But otherwise, no. If I'm just here, I think I'd rather just get drunk off that, rocket fuel.
Malört.
Yeah, Malört.
They say it's grapefruit flavored. I don't know. Grapefruit can be rough, I do believe, but not as bad as Malört. But shout out to my man, John the Baptist. He was known to be eating locusts and honey way back in biblical times. So this has been around for a while. And we got all these cicadas hanging around. Apparently they're high in protein.
Yep.
Grind them up, baby.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Get your, whatever it's called, exoskeletons.
Yeah.
Throw it in a blender. Bzz, 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 bzz. You got yourself some protein powder. Free of charge.
Yeah, I think that's what the the bars are called as well. They have exo in them, I think. Or maybe, exo. Anyways, because they put the skeletons in, they put the ground crickets in them. I don't think they've gone to cicadas quite yet.
For some reason, I'd much rather eat a cricket than one of these than a cicada.
Why is that?
I don't know. These we have these bugs down here, man.
They're not thumb size.
They're not fun to see.
Yeah.
I'm not like, yay, they're here. It's like, yeah. So I'd probably go cricket over this, but I would try this. They're gonna sell a lot of these, right? It already sucks. It's already almost like a gag drink to begin with. And now you put a bug in it, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Don't be a baby. Do it.
When I asked the question, would you rather eat a cicada or drink this thing? It's because it's nasty.
Yeah.
And so I'm entering the equation with a bug, which
it
are
might
allowed.
Make it better.
It might make it better.
Oh, 100% it makes it better. They're saying it tastes like lobster with a cicada in it. It can only improve the taste, because I had a shot of Malört while I was there. It's bad. It tastes like pencil shavings and like death, you know? So, yeah, give me the Malört. I'm not eating a cicada.
You got a Malört plug for us, TK? Can we get a bottle of this bug juice down here?
Trying to think of when I got visitors coming from Illinois.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
It's possible.
Be nice.
It's definitely possible.
We'll do it on the show.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff here. I don't even understand this next blurb. Add your own cicada husks for extra flavor.
What?
Like, you can add wherever the cicadas are hanging
hold on.
out.
This is not husky enough for me. 2 more, please.
It's the ultimate personalized alcoholic cicada broth experience.
Okay.
I don't get it.
They should have.
The thing is,
they're really running with this.
Yeah.
They got us talking about it.
Yeah. The thing is, they're so loud. Cicadas are so much more louder than crickets. They are loud.
Yeah.
They buzz down here in Atlanta.
You could hear them on an ESPN broadcast.
You definitely could. They got to fill the seats with cicadas. That's how we'll be able to hear the fans.
Okay. All right, great tweet. We'll get the poll up. Maybe would you try this Malört with the bug in it? Let us know. Let's call it there.
Okay.
We got game 1 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. It's Wolves versus Mavericks. Everyone's excited about this one. Hopefully we get as entertaining a game as we got in the Eastern Conference Finals to talk about on tomorrow's No Dunks podcast live at 10. But we also have 3 hours of Survivor tonight.
Woo-hoo. Games 1 through 7 of the Survivor Finals.
We really do
tonight.
It's this is one of the toughest nights, if I'm being honest, in our schedule, because we've got a big Western Conference Finals game that you really got to dig into, and then just so much Survivor. I mean, it's not short.
3 hours.
3 hours.
2 hours. So go ahead.
Well, it's like 2.5 hours of the episode, and then it's like a 30-minute, little post game.
It spills into the reunion, so it's usually 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, you're just going to watch Survivor. You're not going to have to watch the game.
I'll dip into the game.
I'm really going back and forth how I'm going to tackle this one tonight. Like, you could save one till the morning, just get up at the crack of dawn. It's a possibility. But then which one?
Yeah.
Can you do both tonight? You could. I have a DVR. We can get some recording and catch up on things, fly through commercials. I don't know, man. TK, what are you going to do, man?
I'm gonna watch Survivor.
Okay, and then you're gonna watch the game.
My kid's last day of school. They don't got to go to school in the morning. They love Survivor. Last year we set up a bunch of challenges in the backyard.
Oh, nice.
I dressed like Jeff Probst. Maybe I'll make him eat cicadas this time.
Oh yeah.
You gotta eat this gross food, or I won't feed you actual food.
Jesus.
And then
Feed them their own cicadas. That's dark.
That is dark.
I like it.
That's all right. We can always replace them.
All right, guys. Enjoy Survivor. If you're a fan of that, enjoy Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, I heard this song this morning. I couldn't get it out of my mind, so I have to share it with you. Life is one big party while you're still young. I didn't even say that right. Life is one big party when you're still young. It's the Shaggy line. You know it. You know
Who's gonna have your back when it's all done?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know it. Yeah. You know it.
What about the long run?
Oh, when you do it like that. Embrace the name, people.